Hey, good morning. Man, am I blue today? Getting ready to head out. I'll tell you about that in a second. But listen, if you are a real estate agent that owes the IRS, or frankly, if you don't owe the IRS and you should, you're really going to get a lot of value out of this because we're going to talk about increasing your income. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single day, regardless of what I've got going on, even if I'm heading out to the horse barn because I just sold 17 horses. We're moving 53 horses around. We're changing my stable up a little bit here, and we're getting ready to spend about an hour and a half for me to tell people what to do. But today's topic is about you and the fact that you don't owe the IRS $500,000, and I'm trying to figure out why. And I got a question for you. Like, if you were trying to owe them $500,000, what would you have to do to make that happen? And I wonder if that'd be a smart move for you. You know, we were having a competition about 5 or 6 years ago to see which agent owed the IRS the most amount of money. And you believe it was the rich agent that's making tons of ridiculous amounts of money? I think she owed $424,000 for that calendar year. Wouldn't that be an awesome problem for you to have? Can you imagine how amazing your life would be if you owed the IRS $1 million from this year's production? Now, the importance of this lesson here is for you to understand that your goal is not to lower expenses. Your goal is to raise your income. As a matter of fact, if it multiplies your expenses, that's totally fine. It's not an issue. Why would you be excited that you don't owe the IRS any money? You should be pissed that you don't owe them at least 200 grand from the year. So I want you to start thinking about focusing on how can I increase my income rather than worry about, oh my gosh, that was an unexpected expense. Oh, I didn't know that was going to cost money. Oh, I can't afford to do that. Maybe if you fix the problem and stop worrying about the symptoms, all of those symptoms will go away. Your goal over the next 12 months is to figure out how you could owe the IRS $500,000. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I mean by that? Because there's only one way you could owe them $500,000. Please get to that point. Please get to, yes, they're going to take a cut. Your broker is going to take a cut too. Advertising is going to take a cut. A buyer's agent takes a bigger cut than the IRS does. You say, oh, I don't want to make any money because I don't want the buyer's agent to make money. No, you're getting your cut. But even if you're an individual agent all by yourself, you don't have any assistants, you don't have a buyer's agent, you don't even have a transaction coordinator, it's just you. What if you could owe the IRS about 200 grand next year? Wouldn't that be cool? Now, I would recommend you get a CPA. You find some ways around. You figure out how, oh, I only owe them 100 instead of 200. You find legal, moral, ethical ways to write things off. But I'd love to get to that position that you have to figure out, how can I not owe them such a huge portion of this big, massive amount of money that I've generated here? The agents that are making, they're grossing 80 or 100 grand a year. And then they have, half of that is written off because of all their expenses. So they're hoping they made 30 or 40 or $50,000. And then they don't owe the IRS anything or very little. And they're like, oh, thank goodness. I was worried. I don't even have $4,000 to my name that I could even give. I'm so thankful that I don't know that. How about if we fix the damn problem? How about if we find a way for you to stroke them a check for 100 grand next year because you made a freaking boatload of money? You need to start focusing on how you can massively increase your income. Not this skating by, not this just trying to figure out how life works. And I had a good month. No, now I'm going to have a bad month. That's not what you need to be focused on here. You need to really be thinking about, how can I grow my business so that I make so much income that these minor expenses aren't a big deal, including a portion of what you make going to the IRS or to your broker or to advertising costs or to team members if you need them. I don't think you need team members. You'll usually do better with systems than you will with people, but you can massively increase into the 6 figures and beyond if you're going about it the right way. But in our mastermind groups, we always try to be the one that owes the IRS the most amount of money. That means you won. It means you win. Of all of your peers, you win. I want you to imagine in your real estate brokerage that you owed the IRS like 5 times more than the guy or gal that's second. You owe like 5 times more than they do. Who do you think sleeps better at night? Who do you think leads a happier life? Who do you think has a bigger retirement account? Who do you think when they need a new car, they're just like, I'm just going to go pay cash for a new car? They fixed their problem. You might be spending all your time stressing about the wrong things. You might be stressing about expenses. Oh, I'm going to go to this cell phone plan because it'll save me money. I'll go to this brokerage because I can get a better split. I'm going to cut back on this because it'll save me money. Maybe I only need the silver program, not the gold program. What are you doing? You did not get in this industry to shrink your goals, your lifestyle, your future, your retirement, the quality of life that you experience. You got in this business to expand that. I know damn well there's a foreign country you'd like to spend 2 months in, at least 2 weeks. I know there. What are we talking about here? 10 grand, 20 grand? 2 closings? What are we doing? So for all of the agents that I coach, and you already know, if you're involved in my inner circle coaching, you already know we're very focused on massively increasing your income. I want you. Don't you wish you owed the IRS $1 million next year? Can you imagine how amazing your life would be if you said, well, looks like the IRS cut of this whole thing is $1 million, not 5 grand. I want you to get to that position. Now, again, obviously it's wise to hire a tax professional and figure out what you can do to make sure that you are legal, moral, and ethical, but you keep those costs as low as possible. But I'm sure you understand the analogy here. The last thing you want to do is be break even, or, oh, I only owe them $1,100. We're talking small numbers here. It's time for you to really wake up, get your business rocking in the right direction, and build the right way. Our Greg Luther Inner Circle members are focused on, I can get 2 closings a month from this approach. I can get 1 closing a month from this approach. I can get 2 to 3 closings a month from this approach. So I'm going to do all 3 of these. And they implement at a very high level, and they stay consistent with what they're doing. I provide all the details, the accountability that you need for reporting purposes to say, okay, I am on track. I am keeping track of where I'm at, and I am going to make a lot more money this year. That's ultimately what the goal is. Your goal should have nothing to do with saving money by any means at all. If I can show you an ad that you can run that's going to cost you $1,000, you damn well better do it, because I wouldn't show it to you if it wouldn't make you at least 10. So if you can spend 1,000 and you can get 10,000, how much does it cost you not to do it? How much do you save by not doing it? You actually lose 9 grand by not doing it. But again, it comes down to your confidence and competence and how you're building your business. So your goal over the next 12 months, I want to figure out how I can owe the IRS as much as possible, and then I'll have a tax professional help me to try and get that number down. But man, I'd love for me to think I'm probably going to owe them $500,000. If I owe them $500,000, I had a damn good year, or whatever that number is for you. Maybe it's 100 grand, right? I just stroked a big check, and that's what's making me think of it. Ridiculous number. And it's making me think of, where most agents are thinking that's a cost. No, it's a fraction of what you make. So let's give them a hell of a lot. That means you made a hell of a lot. So if you're not a member with us, you can look down in the video description here. You'll see a couple of links that you can click on to start to grow your business. Get some free tips on what you can do to start getting business today, this calendar day, to start making money for yourself. But most importantly, make sure you're following this channel and you ring the bell. You turn on notifications on Greg Luther Coaching channel, because that's going to let you know each time we have a new video that pops up for you. We have a morning meeting every day. A lot of what we talk about is centered around things for our inner circle coaching members, because I want you to be a member. I want you making good money. Don't be a member here if you're not planning to implement, if you're not planning to make lots of money. You're going to be very uncomfortable when you come to me with excuses. It's not going to be fun. Many of you have seen that. I've used others as examples. You're here to make money, not to make excuses. So I want you to owe the IRS as much as possible. If we could quadruple or quintuple what you owed them this year, I think you'll have a damn good year. Check out the video description below. I got to run out to the horse barn for an hour and a half or so here, and bark some orders at people and have some fun along the way. Take some pictures of my horses. So we'll plan on talking to everybody soon. I'm Greg Luther, and bye-bye for now.